Hello guys, welcome back to Techno Fiction. This video teaches you the history and importance of C programming. Before learning C, let's get to know about an important language which was the root of all modern languages, and it is known as Algol. Algol was introduced in the early 1960s and it was the first computer language to use a block structure. It gave the concept of structured programming to the computer science community. Next, let's see the history of C through the timeline. In 1960, computer scientists like Corrado Bohm, Giuseppe Acopini, and Edsa Dijkstra popularized Algol. In 1967, Martin Richards developed a language called Basic Combined Programming Language (BCPL), primarily for writing system software. In 1970, Ken Thompson created a language using many features of BCPL and called it simply B. B was used to create early versions of Unix operating system at Bell Laboratories. Both BCPL and B were typeless system programming languages. C was evolved from Algol, BCPL, and B by Dennis Ritchie at the Bell Laboratories in 1972. It uses many concepts from these languages and adds the concept of data types and other powerful features. Today, C is running under a variety of operating systems and hardware platforms. C became more popular after the publication of the book The C Programming Language by Brian Cunningham and Dennis Ritchie in 1978, and the language came to be known as K and R C among the programming community. To assure that the C language remains standard, in 1983, American National Standard Institute appointed a technical committee to define a standard for C. They approved a version of C in December 1989, which is now known as ANSI C. It was then approved by the International Standard Organization in 1990. This version of C is also referred to as C89. Let's get to know what C is. C is a programming language developed at AT&T's Bell Laboratories at USA in 1972. It was designed and written by Dennis Ritchie, and it is a general-purpose, high-level structured programming language, and it is also called as procedural-oriented programming language. Now let's see the importance of C. C is a robust language with built-in functions and operators. Programs written in C are efficient and fast. This is due to its variety of data types and powerful operators. There are only 32 keywords in C. C is highly portable. This means that C programs written for one computer can be run on another with different operating systems. It is well suited for structured programming. This modular structure makes program debugging, testing, and maintenance easier. Another important feature of C is the ability to extend itself. A C program is a collection of functions that are supported by the C library. We can add our own functions to the C library. As I mentioned before that C is a structured program, let's get to know the structure of C. C programming has a structural format. If writing a C program in any other structure will hence lead to a compilation error. C is divided into 5 sections, and the first section is documentation section. This section consists of a set of comment lines giving the name of the program and other details. The second section is the header section. The important section is the header section, which includes the header files in a C program. A header file is a file with extension .h, which links the program to the C system library. The next section is the main function section. Every C program must have one main function section. This section contains two parts, the declaration part and the executable part. The declaration part declares all the variables used in the executable part. The next part is the body or the executable part. The body of a function in the C program refers to the operations that are performed in the functions. It can be anything like manipulations, searching, sorting, printing, etc. These two parts must appear between the opening and the closing braces. The program execution begins at the opening brace and ends at the closing brace. The closing brace of the main function is the logical end of the program. All statements in the declaration and executable part ends with a semicolon. If you miss to add the semicolon, it shows an error. Now let's discuss the program given here line by line. The first part is the documentation section. In documentation section, the statements given between double slash are considered as the comments for the program. The comment line won't be executed at runtime. Next one is header section. In a C program, the lines that start with the hash symbol are processed by preprocessor, which is a program invoked by the compiler. In the given program, the preprocessor copies the preprocessed code of stdio.h to our file. Stdio stands for Standard Input and Output File. The .h file are called header file in C. These header files generally contain declaration of functions. We need stdio.h file for the function printf used in the program. The next is the main section. There must be a starting point from where execution of compiled program begins. In C, the execution typically begins with the first line of main function. The void return in brackets indicates that the main doesn't take any parameters. The next one is the opening curly bracket. In C, a pair of curly brackets define scope and are mainly used in functions and control statements like if, else, and loops. All functions starts and ends with opening and closing brackets. Next is the variable declaration section. Here we didn't use variables, so I have mentioned the variable declaration in command line. Next is the body of the program. Here we are going to print the text that is Techno Fiction in our output. For that we have used the printf function. Printf is a standard library function to print something on standard output. The semicolon at the end of the printf indicates the line termination. In C, a semicolon is always used to indicate the end of a statement. Next is the return statement. The return statement returns the value from main function. The return value may be used by an operating system to know the termination status. The value 0 typically means successful termination. Do not forget to add the closing curly bracket to actually end the main function. If you like this video, hit the like button, and if you want to learn more from me, then click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon. Share with your friends and comment your thoughts about this video. Stay tuned and thanks for watching.